America, country of majestic natural beauty, and behind it lies the mystery of stories. This place is a combination of nature and time combined to create places that seem unreal. From towering cliffs or cliffs rising from lakes, create seemingly impossible wonders. All of this creates seemingly impossible wonders waiting for you to discover. Pali Coast Sea Cliffs. Located in northwest Kauai, 27 kilometers long, accessible only by boat helicopter, or hiking the 18-kilometer Kalalau Trail. Nicknamed Rainbow Cliffs, every afternoon the sunlight makes the basalt sparkle in 7 colors. The name Na Pali means cliffs in Hawaiian. The ancients believed this was where the gods bathed. It was formed 5 million years ago when a large volume of water flooded the northwest of the island, forming the valleys. The first settlers on the Na Pali coast were Polynesian navigators around 1200 AD. Soon, many Tahitian immigrants followed, shaping the culture of Kauai and the other Hawaiian islands today. This coast was a center of trade between Hanalei, Waimea, and Niihau, and extended to neighboring island colonies. Pictured Rocks, National Lakeshore, Michigan. Pictured Rocks is a 42-mile stretch of lakeshore on the north shore of Lake Superior. Famous for its brightly colored sandstone cliffs, sea caves, waterfalls, large sand dunes, and clear blue water beaches. The name Pictured Rocks comes from the colorful sandstone cliffs that stretch 15 miles northeast of Munising. These cliffs are up to 60 meters above lake level. They are naturally shaped into many shallow caves, rock arches, and architectural blocks resembling castle towers and human figures. The colors in the cliffs are created by a large amount of minerals in the rock. The cliffs are made up of the Munising Formation of 500-million-year-old Cambrian sandstone. Hallstatt, Austria. Known as one of the most beautiful villages in the world, a true gem and wonderland of Europe. The village lies on the banks of the poetic blue Hallstatter Sea Lake, surrounded by the majestic Alps. With the architecture of ancient colorful wooden houses stacked layer upon layer close to the cliff, it creates a harmonious scene between architecture and nature. In autumn, the village is immersed in the red colors of the leaves, bringing a romantic and feeling. is that this place is recognized as a World Heritage Site for its timeless beauty and historical and cultural value. The area is famous for its salt mining, which dates back more than 7,000 years. If you are a lover of majestic natural beauty, ancient architecture, and want to experience a romantic scene like coming out of a fairy tale, Hallstatt is definitely a destination not to be missed. Olympic National Park, Hoh Rainforest, Washington. One of the largest temperate rainforests in the United States. It encompasses 24 square miles of low-elevation forest along the Hoh River, ranging from 394 to 2,493 feet. It receives an average annual rainfall of 140 inches, one of the rainiest places in the United States. The Hoh River Valley was formed thousands of years ago by glaciers and is the ancestral homeland of the Hoh people. The dominant species in the rainforest are Sitka spruce and western hemlock. Average summer temperatures do not exceed 20 degrees Celsius, with dense bushes and thick tree canopies providing shade until a giant tree falls. A suitable place for plants and organisms to grow. Redwood National Park, California, is a complex that includes 1 United States national park and 3 California state parks. At 139,000 acres, the park preserves 45% of the remaining virgin coast redwood forests. Located in Del Norte and Humboldt counties, these 4 parks protect the endangered coast redwoods. Standing at the feet of giants who lived for more than 2,000 years and were over 115 meters tall. The park is a complex of primary forests, coastal grasslands, and approximately 60 kilometers of Pacific coastline. The combination of quiet, deep forest and wild, foggy coast creates a beautiful natural picture. Thick mist from the sea often shrouds the forest, filtering sunlight into dappled streaks of light. Alabama Hills, California. It's more than just an ordinary rocky hill station. It's a rare combination of majestic natural scenery and rich cinematic history. This place is famous for its round, smooth granite blocks, stacked strangely on top of each other, creating a natural stone maze. The biggest highlight is the Mobius Arch, a natural rock arch. What's special is that when you look through this stone arch, you can frame the majestic peak of Mount Whitney in the background. This scene is one of the icons of Alabama Hills and a must-see photo spot. The contrast between the desert rocks and the snow-capped mountain peaks creates a very impressive landscape picture. With its alien-like landscape, Alabama Hills has served as the setting for more than 400 movies and television shows. Death Valley, Racetrack, Playa, California. It is a completely flat, dry lake bed about 4.5 kilometers long and 2.1 kilometers wide. Famous for hundreds of large and small rocks that seem to move on their own on the dry mud surface. For more than a century, no one has directly seen the stones moving, making it one of the world's most fascinating geological mysteries. This ice layer breaks up and is blown by the wind, pushing the rocks along the wet mud surface below, creating long streaks. The surface of the Playa is covered with hexagonal patches of cracked, dry mud. The contrast between the beige lake bed and the dark rocks creates a beautiful alien scene. Yosemite Valley, California. A world-famous valley located in Yosemite National Park. It is known as the heart of the park. The valley is surrounded by majestic granite cliffs carved by glaciers. Most prominent are El Capitan, a massive monolith and half-dome, an impressive half-dome rock peak. With towering waterfalls, the best time to see them is in spring, when the melting snow creates powerful flows. Although it covers only 1% of the park, Yosemite Valley is filled with forests, vast meadows, and the Merced River that flows through it. This is a classic viewpoint where you can see panoramic views of El Capitan, Bridal Veil Fall, and Half Dome. An incomparable natural wonder, a symbol of majestic beauty created by ice and time. Joshua Tree National Park, California. This is one of the most famous national parks in the United States, with its wild yet charming desert scenery. Famous for the Joshua Tree. As the name suggests, this is the soul of the park. This plant has a strange shape, like hands reaching up to the sky, creating a surreal and almost extraterrestrial scene. Located on the border of two major deserts, it offers a diversity of landscapes from dense Joshua tree-covered areas to vast arid plains. Scattered throughout the park are strangely shaped weathered granite boulders. They are a paradise for climbers and boulderers, or simply a giant playground to explore and photograph. Joshua Tree National Park offers a unique experience of wild beauty, desert tranquility, and surreal rock and tree landscapes. Carlsbad, Caverns, New Mexico. It is one of the largest cave systems in North America, with more than 119 known caves. The largest and most famous cave is the Big Room, described as being the size of 6 football fields and filled with stunning rock formations. Famous for its magical stalactites and stalagmites, large stone columns and other limestone formations created over millions of years. With a steep, paved trail that is approximately 1.25 miles long, the hike descends approximately 750 feet into the ground. Inside the cave, the temperature is quite cool and steady at 56 degrees Fahrenheit. In the evening, thousands of Mexican bats can be witnessed flying out of the natural entrance to feed a spectacular natural sight. Most visitors comment that this is a place that exceeds expectations, with the scale and variety of rock formations overwhelming. Niagara Falls, New York. Known as part of the Great Natural Wonder, Niagara Falls lies on the border of the United States and Canada. Located in the state of New York, USA, it is where you can admire two of the three main waterfalls of the system. Although the largest waterfall, Horseshoe Falls, is located primarily on the Canadian side, the American side still offers an up-close experience. The area focuses on experiencing majestic nature, with Niagara Falls State Park being the oldest state park in the U.S. Many visitors comment that the Canadian side has a better panoramic view because of the perfect arc of Horseshoe Falls. While the U.S. side offers a more up-close and personal experience. This is a majestic natural wonder offering memorable and emotional experiences with the sheer power of water. Glacier National Park, Montana. Known as the crown of the continent, the park is famous for its majestic Rocky Mountains carved by prehistoric glaciers. Along with some 25 sparkling glaciers and some 200 crystal-clear lakes, Lake McDonald stands out with its colorful pebbles. With over 700 miles of trails, this is a paradise for explorers and hikers. The park's vast, pristine ecosystem is recognized by UNESCO as an International Biosphere Reserve and World Heritage Site. Summer is usually the best time because the Going to the Sun Road is open. Glacier National Park is a must-visit destination for lovers of nature, mountains, and outdoor activities. Hanging Lake, Colorado. One of the most beautiful and unique natural destinations in the United States. It is a national natural landmark known for its breathtaking beauty and extremely fragile ecosystem. The most special feature of Hanging Lake is the sparkling and clear turquoise water created from dissolved carbonate minerals deposited. The lake sits suspended over the edge of Glenwood Canyon, giving it the appearance of hanging from a cliff, a rare geological phenomenon. Water from Bridal Veil Falls gently cascades into the lake, adding to the magical beauty. Above the lake is Spouting Rock, a unique waterfall that gushes directly through a gap in the cliff. To get to the lake, you have to hike the Hanging Lake Trail, which is about 1.2 miles long. Maroon Bells, Colorado. Two peaks over 14,000 feet high. Maroon Peak and North Maroon Peak have a distinctive bell-shaped appearance. The peaks have a unique wine red color made up of mudstone of the Maroon Formation. It is this color that gives it the name Maroon. The most photographed landscape is the combination of two towering peaks and Maroon Lake in the foreground, where the calm lake surface perfectly reflects the mountain peaks, creating a surreal picture. Black Canyon of the Gunnison, Colorado. This canyon was carved by the Gunnison River over millions of years. It is famous for its impressive steepness, depth, and narrowness. The rock walls are only about 12 meters apart in places below the river. The name Black Canyon comes from the steep cliff walls that make it difficult for sunlight to reach the bottom. Especially in winter, the canyon is often shrouded in darkness, creating a dark, mysterious appearance. The area has some of the oldest exposed rock in North America, with basement rock that is nearly 2 billion years old. The cliffs are a distinctive dark gray with pink veins. White Sands, New Mexico. The most prominent feature, the giant white gypsum sand dunes. White Sands has the world's largest gypsum dune field, covering approximately 710 square kilometers. The sand dunes are pure white, looking like a snow-covered landscape, creating a breathtaking and surreal scene unlike any other desert. Unlike sand in other deserts, which absorbs heat, the gypsum sand here does not absorb heat from the sun. This allows visitors to walk barefoot on the sand comfortably, even during the hot summer months. This place offers a different and unforgettable natural experience with white gypsum sand dunes. Most people agree that White Sands is a unique place and well worth a visit. Garden of the Gods, Colorado. The park is famous for its dramatic towering red sandstone formations formed over millions of years by tectonic processes. The view is truly breathtaking, feels like being in another world. These red rocks stand out against the deep blue sky, and especially with the snow-capped Pikes Peak in the background. It is home to 3 major ecosystems in North America, creating unique biodiversity. Located in Colorado Springs, Colorado, USA. This is not just a park, but a giant outdoor geological museum offering wonderful nature experiences, and it's completely free. Mono Lake, Tufa Towers, California. Not just a nature reserve, but a giant and vibrant art gallery. These towering blocks of calcium carbonate rise from the surface of the highly alkaline, salty lake. They come in a variety of shapes, from delicate sharp towers to massive rugged limestone clumps. What is amazing is that these towers were originally formed entirely underwater. When calcium-rich freshwater springs welled up from underground and mixed with carbonate-rich lake water, a chemical reaction created limestone. These majestic tufa towers are dry and tower over the lakeshore today, because the lake level dropped significantly after Los Angeles. This site, while beautiful, is also a powerful reminder of the impact humans have on the environment. Mono Lake's story is an inspiring lesson in conservation thanks to the persistent efforts of activists and communities. Bisti Badlands, New Mexico wind and water have eroded layers of sandstone, shale, mud, and coal over millions of years. Creates a vast maze of strangely shaped rock structures commonly known as hoodoos. The area was once a coastal marsh of an ancient inland sea. Bisti is home to the longest and richest sequence of fossil strata spanning the Cretaceous-Paleogene boundary. This area is managed as a wilderness area, meaning there are no marked trails. This is a photographer's paradise, especially at dawn and dusk, when the low sunlight creates long shadows and brings out the colors. Located in the remote desert highlands south of Farmington, New Mexico. Great Sand Dunes, Colorado. This is more than just a big sandbar. It's a fascinating geological contrast. In the middle of the vast San Luis Valley, suddenly a giant sand field rose up, towering high. What makes this place great is the surrounding setting. The rolling golden sand dunes lie at the foot of the majestic Sangre de Cristo Mountains, whose snow-capped peaks soar more than 4,000 meters. The contrast between the desert and the high mountains and pine forests creates a natural picture that cannot be found anywhere else. These sand dunes are not static. They constantly change shape under the influence of opposing winds. Medano Creek phenomenon, a shallow stream that appears suddenly in late spring or early summer when the snow melts. Devil's Tower, Wyoming. It is a giant monolith towering above the surrounding plains. It is about 386 meters above ground level, and its peak is 1,559 meters above sea level. Most characteristic are the giant parallel hexagonal columns of rock, formed when molten magma cooled and contracted underground about 50 million years ago. Subsequent erosion has revealed this impressive structure, which is considered the world's largest example of columnar cohesion. It was the first national monument in the United States, established by President Theodore Roosevelt on September 24, 1906. For many Native American tribes in North America, Devil's Tower was a very sacred place and was known by many different names. There are many thrilling legends surrounding the formation of the tower, the most famous being the story of young girls fleeing from a giant bear. Renowned as one of the best crack climbing areas in North America, Thor's Well, Oregon. More than just a hole in the Oregon coast, it's a dramatic geological masterpiece and a showcase of the ocean's primordial power. The Sewer of the Pacific. This nickname accurately describes the haunting that Thor's Well brings. During high tide, especially an hour before high tide, the seawater appears to be sucked down a bottomless hole. It's a powerful optical illusion that makes it appear as if the ocean is being drained. Famous for the water dance, this is no quiet affair. It is a combination of drama and power. The water poured over the edge of the rock and disappeared dramatically. Then it shot back up with a brutal force, creating a white column of water, as if Thor was angrily hammering the ocean. Hamilton Pool, Texas. One of the jewels of the Texas Hill Country near the city of Austin. Hamilton Pool is a natural pool formed thousands of years ago when the dome of an underground river collapsed due to massive erosion. It forms a very impressive semi-open cave. The waterfall is about 15 meters high and falls into a jade-green lake, creating a fairy tale-like scene. Although the waterfall may slow down during droughts, the overall beauty is still very charming. Surrounding the lake are large limestone slabs, stalactites hanging down from the cave ceiling, along with moss and ferns covering the cliffs. In short, Hamilton Pool is a beautiful natural oasis and worth a visit. Crater Lake, Oregon. The first and most impressive thing is the brilliant sapphire blue color of the lake. This is not a regular blue, but a deep, almost surreal blue. This blue color is a direct result of the unimaginable purity of the water. The lake has no rivers or streams flowing into or out of it, and is fed only by rain and melted snow. This prevents sediment and pollution, allowing the water to absorb and scatter blue light to its maximum. Crater Lake is the deepest lake in the United States and one of the clearest lakes in the world, with clarity reaching more than 40 meters. Nestled in a caldera formed after the collapse of the giant volcano Mount Mazama about 7,700 years ago. Antelope Canyon, Arizona. Famous for its tall, gently undulating Navajo sandstone cliffs eroded by wind and water over millions of years. At midday, especially from March to October, sunlight shines through narrow gaps at the top of the canyon. This is the moment every photographer is waiting for. The canyon is located on Navajo tribe territory and is considered a sacred site. Midday from March to October is the best time to see the rays. Antelope Canyon is a natural masterpiece, offering unforgettable visual experiences. Visits are strictly managed by the Navajo people and must always be accompanied by a guide. If you are a nature and photography lover, this is a must-see destination. Painted Hills, Oregon. This place is famous for its layers of colorful rocks and soil. The colors change depending on the humidity and time of day, creating a magical, almost alien scene. These layers of color are the result of millions of years of climate change and sediments from volcanic ash. Preserving ancient history and fossil flora and fauna, making this place not only beautiful, but also of great scientific value. Although located in a remote part of eastern Oregon, the Painted Hills area's highlights are all connected by a well-maintained gravel road. The area has many short and easy hiking trails, allowing visitors to get closer and see the hills in detail. If you love geology-unique landscapes and want to explore one of Oregon's most incredible natural wonders, Badlands National Park, South Dakota. Famous for its eroded sandstone and clay formations that are unusual steep sharp and extremely impressive. Steep cliffs, rock towers, and multicolored clay valleys create a sprawling Badlands wall. As the sun rises or sets, light hits the rock layers, highlighting bands of color from yellow, orange, pink, red to purple and gray. That's when the park puts on its most magical and brilliant beauty. Interspersed with rugged rock formations are the pristine prairie areas of the Great Plains. It is one of the richest fossil areas in the world, especially for mammal fossils from the Oligocene period. It is an unadorned beauty, a naked wildness, but with a powerful allure. Bonneville, Salt Flats, Utah. Described as a completely different land with a flat white salt crust that stretches to the horizon. This scene gives the feeling of standing on another planet or a frozen land, even though it is actually in the middle of a desert. This place is famous as one of the flattest places on Earth. This perfect flatness is what creates the unique landscape and is ideal for special activities. With its vast white background and strong light reflection, this is the ideal place to take artistic minimalist photos. This salt flat is a remnant of ancient Lake Bonneville, which once covered much of Utah during the Ice Age. As the lake dried up, it left behind a large amount of minerals, mainly table salt, which form the thick, hard crust it has today. Mount Rainier, Washington. At 4,392 meters, it is the highest peak in the Cascade Range and the Cascade Volcanic Belt. Its presence is almost overwhelming. It can be seen towering over Seattle and Tacoma on clear days. Its reputation as a potentially active volcano makes it both majestic and awe-inspiring. The current quiet is just a reminder of the enormous power that lies dormant within. It is the glaciated mountain range in the continental United States with a system of 26 major glaciers. These glaciers create a dynamic geological landscape with sharp cliffs and deep valleys. Located entirely within Mount Rainier National Park, which preserves a rich and diverse ecosystem. Thornton Force Waterfall, Florida. Located in Yorkshire, Dales National Park, North Yorkshire. One of the United Kingdom's most famous and spectacular waterfall and woodland hiking destinations. This approximately 8-kilometer circular trail takes visitors through beautiful forested canyons along 2 rivers with pristine natural scenery. The main attraction is 6 major waterfalls and many smaller ones, with the highlight being Thornton Force. A 14-meter-high waterfall cascades down a dramatic limestone cliff. Other famous falls include Pekka Falls, Holly Bush, Spout, Beasley Falls, and Snow Falls. If you love nature waterfalls, and hiking the Ingleton Waterfalls Trail is a great choice. Dry Tortugas coral reefs, Florida. Located isolated about 70 miles west of Key West. Not only is it part of Dry Tortugas National Park, it is also a natural gem of immense significance to North America's marine ecosystem. Due to its offshore location and strict protection, the coral here is considered healthier and more abundant than many other places in the Florida Keys chain. The area is a crossroads of major ocean currents, carrying fish larvae lobsters and many other marine creatures from both the Gulf of Mexico and beyond. This makes Dry Tortugas an important source of larvae. It is home to about 30 species of coral, including endangered species such as staghorn coral and antlered coral. The structural complexity of the reef creates an ideal habitat for over 400 species of reef fish, including groupers, amberjacks, and sharks. Everglades Cypress Dome, Florida, is a unique and iconic forested swamp plant community of South Florida. The name dome comes from its external shape. The cypress trees in the center grow taller and older, while those on the edges are shorter, creating a rounded shape that rises like an arch when seen from a distance. In contrast to the raised dome appearance, the underlying terrain is a shallow depression that holds rainwater for months. The water is deepest in the center, which is why the cypress trees are tallest and largest there. The water in these domes is often very acidic and stagnant, creating a unique habitat for adapted plants and animals. Not only is it a beautiful landscape, but it is also an ecological wonder that demonstrates nature's amazing ability to adapt to Florida's waterlogged conditions. The Wave, Arizona. The wave's most striking feature is its soft, undulating waves formed from Jurassic-era Navajo sandstone. These curves, eroded by wind and water over millions of years, create a surreal scene. The blend of mineral layers creates a vibrant palette of colors, from orange rust red peach to creamy white. In particular, when the sunlight shines at different times of the day, the color of the wave changes continuously. What makes the wave so special and desirable is the strict limit on the number of visitors. Only 64 people are licensed each day through the online lottery system and daily lottery. This restriction is intended to preserve the soft, fragile sandstone surface, keeping this masterpiece intact against human destruction. Waikiki Beach, Underwater Craters, Hawaii. This is a chain of islands formed from volcanoes. Around Waikiki and along the southeast coast of Oahu are several extinct volcanic craters, such as Diamond Head and Cocoa Head. As these structures erupt, they create unique underwater formations. The area is described as a series of small underwater craters formed when Cocoa Head erupted. It is famous for its large population of Hawaiian green sea turtles and is an ideal spot for beginner divers. Haleakala Crater, Hawaii. Meaning House of the Sun in Hawaiian. It is not only an extinct volcano, but also a great natural monument. What makes Haleakala famous worldwide is the view of the sunrise from the top of the mountain at 3,055 meters. Standing on top of Pu'u'ulaula in the cold night sky, waiting for the moment the sun rises from the horizon. The scene that appeared was not the ground, but a giant sea of clouds rolling below. The first rays of sunlight tore through the darkness, dyeing the sea of clouds and the volcanic valley below red. What is known as the crater of Haleakala is actually a giant eroded valley about 11 kilometers wide and nearly 800 meters deep. Arches National Park, Delicate Arch, Utah. It is a freestanding dome that stands 16 meters high and has become a widely recognized symbol of the state of Utah. It is the result of millions of years of erosion and weathering on the Entrada sandstone, standing majestically on the rim of a rocky valley. The dome stands out dramatically against the backdrop of the vast Red Rock Desert and the majestic La Salle Mountains in the distance. Sunset is the most crowded time, but also the most beautiful time. The setting sun hits delicate arch, making it glow a spectacular fiery red-orange, making for stunning photos. A masterpiece of nature, a destination that offers an overwhelming and inspiring sense of the power of time and erosion. Canyonlands Needles, Utah. One of 4 separate fragmented areas of Canyonlands National Park. If Island in the Sky is the most accessible and visited tabletop, then Needles is the wild, silent, and more demanding heart. What makes this area famous and different are the colorful towering Cedar Mesa sandstone columns arranged in clusters. They look like nature's sewing needles adorned with alternating white and red stripes, creating a spectacular zebra pattern. Erosion along cracks created by the ancient salt layer below has created a network of rock columns, canyons, and grid-like fissures. It feels both mysterious and majestic, a blend of the beauty of Bryce Canyon and the complex terrain of Zion. Monument Valley Buttes, Utah, Arizona. Famous for its vibrant red sandstone rock formations, known as buttes. These buttes are the result of millions of years of wind and water erosion on the Colorado Plateau. They tower with some peaks, rising as high as 1,000 feet above the valley floor. The valley's characteristic bright red color is due to iron oxide in the soil and weathered sandstone. This color changes magically according to the sunlight, especially at dawn and dusk, creating stunning natural paintings. Located entirely within the territory of the Navajo Nation and considered sacred by them. Valley of Fire, State Park, Nevada. Located about an hour's drive northeast of Las Vegas. Not only is it Nevada's first state park, it's also a one-of-a-kind fiery natural landscape that stands in stark contrast to the glitz and glamour of Sin City. The park is famous for its fiery red Aztec sandstone formations formed from shifting sand dunes some 150 million years ago. When the sunlight, especially at dawn and dusk, hits these rocks, they appear to burst into flames, creating a surreal scene. The fiery red of the sandstone contrasts beautifully with the deep blue sky of the Mojave Desert and occasional bands of white or pale yellow rock. Renowned as a jewel of Nevada, a place where you can experience wild beauty, the majesty of time, and geological history. Great Basin, Bristlecone Pines, Nevada. not only famous geographically, but also of great biological and historical value. This plant is considered to be the oldest living sexual organism on Earth. Some individuals have been dated to nearly 5,000 years old, meaning they germinated before the Egyptian pyramids were built. Their tree rings are an invaluable data archive, helping scientists reconstruct records of Earth's climate and environment over thousands of years. Due to having to cope with the harsh environment at high altitudes, the trunk of the bristlecone tree is often twisted and bent in strange ways. This ghostly tough appearance is evidence of a millennia-long battle for survival. Fly Geyser, Nevada. The first thing that attracts everyone's eyes is the color here. Dressed in a rainbow of vibrant hues of deep green rust, red pastel yellow, and burnt orange. This is not a color of pure minerals, but rather of thermophilic algae and bacteria that thrive in the hot, humid water environment. They are fierce creatures, creating a vivid picture, changing with the seasons and temperatures. With its bizarre multi-layered conical architecture, it almost resembles a surreal sculpture about 1.5 meters high and more than 3.5 meters wide on a large mound of earth. Enchanted Rock, Texas. This is the largest isolated monolithic mass of pink granite in the United States, rising high above the Texas hill country. It rises about 425 feet above the surrounding ground, and its highest point is 1,825 feet above sea level. Recognized as a National Natural Landmark and listed on the National Register of Historic Places as an archaeological site. The name Enchanted Rock comes from the legends of Native American tribes who believed the rock to be sacred or even haunted. Sometimes one can even hear the cracking sound coming from the rock as it contracts after sunset. Mendenhall Ice Caves, Alaska. Not just a tourist attraction, but a soulful natural phenomenon, an ice aquarium located beneath the Great Mendenhall Glacier in Juneau, Alaska. It offers the perfect combination of magical beauty and a poignant reminder of the fragility of nature. The first and most striking thing is the deep, almost surreal, glacial blue color. This blue color is not due to outside light, but is the result of the ice compacting over millennia. As the light diffuses through the thick ice, it creates an enchanting interior, like stepping into a magnificent ice cathedral. Grand Canyon, Arizona. Created over millions of years by the Colorado River, it is not just a deep canyon, but a giant Grand Canyon. Standing before this scene, you will feel extremely small before the greatness of Mother Nature. Characterized by layers of reddish brown, orange, and yellow sedimentary rocks stacked on top of each other, creating a vivid geological picture. The sunlight, especially at dawn and dusk, dyes the cliffs with brilliant colors, making the scene surreal, like being lost on another planet. Recognized as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1979, it affirms its unparalleled geological and landscape values. Moonscape, Overlook, Utah. As the name suggests, moonscape is not just a fancy name, but an accurate description. Standing on this skyline rim cliff, you will admire the vast blue valley below. A scene created from Manco shale sediments dating back about 90 million years. The gray, blue-gray, and ivory colors of the eroded rock and soil create a picture so dry, cracked, and cold that it is immediately reminiscent of the surface of the moon. The picture becomes even more dramatic, with the appearance of Factory Butte looming in the distance. Shiprock, New Mexico. Located deep within the Navajo Nation, northwestern New Mexico. It is a giant volcanic crater rising about 420 meters above the surrounding desert plain, formed by erosion over millions of years. It is characterized by long, narrow stone channels radiating from a central mass. It is the most prominent landmark in northwestern New Mexico and is a sacred site to the Navajo people. The Navajo people called this rock Tse-bit-a-i, which means winged rock. Chaco Canyon, New Mexico. What made Chaco so great were its massive structures known as great houses. The most typical is Pueblo Bonito, a giant semicircular complex estimated to have 600 to 800 rooms and up to 4 to 5 stories high. Built between about 850 and 1250 AD, they were the largest structures in North America until the 19th century. The Chacoans quarried and transported precisely hewn sandstone blocks. Mud mortar was then used to create double walls, sometimes with a rubble core inside, demonstrating an extremely high level of engineering and planning. Bentonite Hills, Utah. These are not just hills, but a giant canvas painted by Mother Nature. Alternating bands of red, brown, purple, gray, and blue swirl dramatically across the surface, especially brilliant during the golden hour at dawn or dusk. This beauty comes from mineral-rich bentonite clay, formed from volcanic ash, deposited some 140 million years ago. The abundance of different minerals has created this variety of colors. Repeated cycles of wetness and dryness over millions of years cause the clay surface to contract and expand, creating a concave and convex texture. What made bentonite hills famous worldwide was the appearance of the Mars Desert Research Station. Grand Prismatic Spring, Wyoming. This hot spring is famous for its near-perfect color gradient, shifting from deep blue in the center. These colors are not dyes, but the result of thermophilic microbial mats that live in the hot water. Depending on the temperature of the water, different species of microorganisms develop, creating a unique living palette. The central part of the lake is so deep and hot that almost no microorganisms can survive, leaving the water crystal clear and reflecting its natural blue color. This is a colorful and majestic work of natural art, an indispensable symbol of Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming.